Grumpy Gavin Reco double M in Diz Grumpy Gavin recommends. Yes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Grumpy Gavin, and today we're not playing any games, but instead we're going to be talking about the Steam Summer Sale. It goes on from June 22nd to July 5th, so we've got a little over a week until it ends. Figure this would be a good time to talk about Grumpy Gavin recommends. Games that I would recommend you get on this Steam Summer Sale, since we got plenty of time to talk about it. Let's see what we got here. This is Dishonored. I think for this, we're going to be focusing on games that cost $5 or less. So let's see. I know there's a category under $10. Let's do under $5. Let's see what we got here. All of these games are under $5, and let's talk about the ones that I like and the ones that I don't like. It looks like Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. That's actually pretty impressive. The sequel is going to be coming out soon. And this first game, which has an impressively low price. What year did this thing come out in? Okay, like 3 years ago? Alright, maybe the price is pretty accurate. Anyway, Shadow of Earth. Yeah, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Currently on the Steam Summer Sales for $4. That's pretty good. Game of the Year looks like $10. I don't know. You can do that if you want. Yeah, I'd say Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor for $4. That's a great price if you haven't played it already. The sequel is about to come out. It's a fun game. Sort of plays a little bit like Assassin's Creed, but with a bit of Batman Arkham Asylum thrown in. Yeah, it's pretty alright. Next up we have Life is Strange. Life is Strange. It says episode 1, but it's actually the entire season, which I think is like 5 or 6 episodes. It's 5 episodes right there. 5 episodes, $5. That's the entire, you get everything for $5. And this is another one that has a new game coming out thanks to that E3 presentation. We got a little 3-episode prequel coming out. I think it was called like Before the Storm or something like that. I also heard, unfortunately, that Ashley Birch will not be reprising her role as one of the characters due to the writer's strike, but, well, that's how it goes. Or, I'm sorry, not the writer's strike, the voice actor's strike. So, good luck with that strike. Probably doing the right thing. Anyway, Life is Strange. It's an episodic point-and-click game where you play as a high school girl in like a weird private school, and it's sort of like it's good, but it's also at times very cringeworthy, especially if you're not a fan of like middle-aged man perceptions of teenagers these days. Unfortunately, I am no longer a teenager, so my perception of what high schoolers do these days is a bit off. I don't know what it means to be a high schooler anymore. But anyway, overall, the game's fun. You've got like time travel powers. You can go back in time for like 2 minutes, kind of like Nick Cage from the movie Next. If for whatever godforsaken reason you're a Nick Cage fan. Borderlands 2. We don't need to talk about that. Team Fortress 2. It's free. I don't know why it says 80% off. It's been free for a while. Terraria, do you like Minecraft? Do you like 2D side-scrolling stuff? It's with monsters. You know, you've all heard it before. It's 2D Minecraft with more monsters. It's fun. Apparently I put 30 hours into it. That sounds about right. It's a fun game. It's $5. Go buy it. Next up, looks like we have Portal 2 for $2. Why do I not own this? Maybe I got it on console a while back. I used to be a console plebe. Fallout New Vegas for $2.50. This game is buggy as hell. I haven't played Batman Arkham Knight yet, but I'm sure that New Vegas will give it a run for its money, even after all of the mods. Yes, I played it with mods. I know what I'm doing. With all of the mods, with all of the updates, with all the fixes over the past 7 years, it still crashes every once in a while. But for 250, if you haven't played it yet, well, if you haven't played it yet, you're not going to, so don't worry about it. 250, yeah, it's probably worth 250. Left 4 Dead 2, eh. This is another one of those. It's even older than New Vegas. If you haven't got it by now, then don't worry about it. Battle Block Theater, if you like that sort of thing, it's like a Mario platformer with friends, but it's got that. What's the company that made this game? It's got that style, that Castle Crashers style. What is the name of the company? Anyway, I like the company. I'm not really into this game because it's a platformer, and I don't have that same kind of love for Mario that some of my peers do, like ProfessorpH. But if you like platformers, you'll probably like this. If you enjoyed the style of Castle Crashers and Alien Hominid, you'll probably enjoy this too. It's also couch co-op, if that's your thing. Ooh, Dishonored, $250. Get it. This is Dishonored. It just got a sequel. The first game is $2.50. Absolutely worth that price. It is a first-person stealth assassination thing. I love me some stealth games. Absolutely get Dishonored. Hey, look, Faster Than Light for $250. If you don't have this game, it's $250, and I've done. Oh goodness, 90 hours. Yeah, I've done. I have a let's play of one run through. I'm probably gonna do another run through in the future. It is absolutely a great game. What did I write about this? I played 10 minutes, and I love it more than most AAA holiday releases this year. This was, by the way, 2012, which for those of you came out in 2012. For those of you who have been watching my my Spec Ops run through, I talk about the year 2012 in the first episode of Spec Ops. FTL is definitely one of the best games of 2012. One of the best games, period. And for $2.50, everybody should buy it. If you're curious about what it is and what it plays like, feel free to look up a video that I have. I have a whole playlist where I play through the game. You can see exactly what it's like. Castle Crashers, $3. Same with Battle Block Theater. It's the same people. This is a co-op brawler, like a side-scrolling brawler, like Double Dragon or all those games that you played. This is another one of those. If you don't know about this game, then you're wrong and you need to go fix yourself. It's pretty good. It's a great couch co-op game. What else we got? Portal 1 for $1. If you don't have Portal 1, I can't help you. It's $1. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why if you've never played Portal before, you're wrong. Here we go. Transistor for $3. Transistor is sort of like a cult classic. For those of you who remember the game Bastion, it's an excellent game. This is not so much the spiritual successor to Bastion, so much as it is the sister to Bastion, the redheaded sister, because the character has red hair and her name is Red. Anyway, I actually really like this game. I recently just bought the music for it on vinyl because I am a hipster like that. No, I'm not. It's a great game, has a wonderful combat system where, instead of just running around swinging a sword, you have abilities, and as you progress, you can learn to combine abilities. So I think you get like 10, 15, or maybe like 20 abilities over the course of the game, or something like that, and then you can take 2 of them and slap them together, and they modify each other. And so you suddenly have a much larger combination of abilities to use. It's got great music. It's a great game for $3. You should buy it. Papers, Please. For $4. This one got a lot of attention when it came out. I don't know if it was Kickstarted or if it was one of those indie games back in, came out in 2013. Got a lot of attention. I wasn't really into this one. It's not a bad game. No, it's a good game. It's a great game, but I just wasn't into it. Same story with what was it called? This War of Mine. Papers, Please and This War of Mine. I just wasn't feeling them. Perfectly good game. For $4, you'd probably enjoy it. Maybe if you're into that. What you do in this, if you don't know already, you are a border guard, or like yeah, you're basically a border guard, border checkpoint guard, and people come into your checkpoint and they show you their passports or their papers, and you have to identify whether or not they are real people trying to get in, or whether or not they're allowed to come into the country, the very Soviet Russia-esque country. And if you fail and let somebody in, I think you get like a pay doc, and you've got to like earn you got to like earn money for your family, and your kids get sick and stuff. So you sort of got to find that balance between letting people in and getting paid, and keeping people out to keep the country safe. This war of mine, like I just said, I wasn't really feeling it. It's another one of those like dystopian. Well, no, it's completely different from Papers, Please, but it has a sort of the same black and white, gritty, dystopian feel to it. It's a very depressing game. Um, but the biggest thing is it's a crafting game, and that's why I wasn't really feeling it. It's heavy on the crafting. And what you do is in the daytime you can't go outside because you're like a civilian in a war torn area, similar to being a civilian in Iraq or Afghanistan. When stuff is going down. But in this one, in the daytime, you like stay in your house and you try to fix it up and barricade it and stuff like that, and manage your resources and build stuff for your survivors. And at nighttime, you send some people out to the surrounding area to scavenge for things. And they might die looking for stuff, and they might come back with a treasure trove. But again, I wasn't feeling it because it's one of those crafting survival heavy games. I just wasn't really into it. Batman Arkham City Game of the Year. Yeah, Arkham City's good. Everybody knows that. Half-Life 2. You don't have that by now. I don't know what to tell you. That one was okay. It's a little old, but I'll probably get roasted alive for saying that it's just okay. It's the greatest game ever made. Oh, hey, look, Bastion. So, like Transistor, Bastion is a bit different from Transistor, but I'd say it's a little bit better, a little bit more mainstream indie, whereas Transistor is a little bit more cult classic indie. It's like an isometric hack and slash. You're the kid, and you have this wonderful narrator who has the sexiest voice alive. No homo. And he sort of narrates what you do as you do them, which is cool because some things you may do and some things you may not. And the story just sort of goes on from there. You run around, you do stuff, but towards the end of it, there's a nice little twist as you find out. Well, not towards the end. Towards the beginning, you find out the narrator is an actual person in the game, and you can meet him. And then you suddenly realize that maybe the narrator isn't quite accurate in his narrations. There's a term for that, a literary term. An unreliable narrator. It's $3 and absolutely worth the buy. Bastion's a great game. Oh, what do we got here? Tomb Raider, the reboot for $5. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's if you want to play Uncharted but you don't own a PS4, you can buy this game. That's pretty much it. That's not a bad thing. It's a perfectly good game. There's a couple of points in the game where you're just like, really? Where Laura gets impaled several times and she just shrugs it off over the course of the game. Like, it's going for that realistic thing, but at the beginning she got that stake through her thigh and then just sort of bandage it up and keep on moving. But it's pretty good. Saints Row the Third. Saints Row the Third for $5. This, I think... Oh, no. Saints Row the Third for $2.50. This is probably the best Saints Row game. And that's not to say that Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 4 are bad. No, they're both very good. But this is sort of like the epitome of it. It's like The Godfather 2. Basically, Saints Row, if you don't know, which I don't know how you couldn't know, Saints Row is sort of like an offshoot of Grand Theft Auto. The first one, the very first Saints Row, was just sort of a very generic Grand Theft Auto spin-off, and nobody really cared about it. But the second one came out, Saints Row 2 came out, and that's where they started to get away from Grand Theft Auto's realism. And Saints Row became its own thing. It became what I prefer Grand Theft Auto 2 have been. You see, when I first played Vice City, I enjoyed it, but as San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I slowly started liking them less and less. I disliked Saints Row, or I'm sorry, I disliked San Andreas because of its, shoehorned in RPG systems, and they started adding more and more of these inane mini games, and things took forever to do. Grand Theft Auto 4 did take away that RPG system, and that's great, but it added in like the internet and bowling with your cousin, and I just really hated all of that. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 doubled down on all of that. So Saints Row is what I believe Grand Theft Auto should have been. And then it just goes even further over the top. Like you see this picture right here. This pretty much sums up Saints Row 3. You're falling out of a plane, shooting other people who are falling out of a plane, and then I think at some point you pull your parachute off, jump out of your parachute, fly back through the plane as it is crashing, grab your friend, and fly out the other side. And you're not a superhero in this game. Not yet, anyway. But Saints Row is definitely one of my favorites, and what I believe that Grand Theft Auto should have been. Dust. An Elysian Tale. This is $3. This is a side-scrolling sort of Metroid Castlevania game. It's pretty good. It's got a nice art style. The voice acting, it ranges from good to bad. Overall, it's a good game, though. Everybody's like an anthropomorphic animal. Not gonna say furry Sonic, because we're just not going there. But no, it's a good game. For $3, it's a solid game. You'll enjoy it. How long did it take me to beat this game? I played it on console, but it's good. Oh, The Killing Floor. Yeah, no, sorry. It's free on Humble Bundle. I don't know if that's still going on. No, it's old. I don't care. Brothers. Okay. For $1.50, I could not play Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I couldn't get past the controls. I could not get past the controls, and it requires a controller to play, so keep that in mind. Basically, the big thing is you are controlling two characters at the same time with one controller, and I couldn't do it. I don't know if this is a good or bad game. Apparently, people like it. Take that as you will. I couldn't play it. Maybe one day. Ooh, 90. That's not bad. I think the company that made this, they're having a sequel, not a sequel, a new game come out soon. I wish I could remember what it was, because I saw it at E3 and I said, "Yep, those are the guys who made Brothers," and you can see that they have taken that concept and ran with it. Psychonauts for $1. This is an old one. But it's Double Fine Productions, creators of Brutal Legend, and I think Grim Fandango. Psychonauts is good. It's very good, in fact. If anybody's seen Zero Punctuation's review of it, it's a great game. It does stumble a little bit. It's aged. I think it's aged very well, except for like the last level. But you know what? If the very last level of the game is the only thing that's bad about it, it is a great game, and it's $1. It's $1, guys. It's a good game. Should be getting a sequel soon. I think they kickstarted it. I don't know what's going on that front. Double Fine is a little bit of a wild card studio. But for $1, yeah, pick up Psychonauts. It's good. Let's see here. Amnesia. I never really got into it. If you like, I think Amnesia is the one that kickstarted the popular first-person horror with no means of defending yourself. Amnesia is the one that really jump-started that trend that you see going on nowadays with games like Outlast and Slender and blah, blah, blah. I never really got into it, but if you like horror and you don't want to be able to do anything to defend yourself, it's $3. There you go. It's old, but hey, whatever. Antechamber. This is one of those puzzle games for $4. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't even think I played it for more than 5 seconds. The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition. If this is the one that I played on Xbox, then yes, you should absolutely buy it. This is one of those. This is like the original, maybe not the original point and click adventure game, but this is like the point and click adventure game. And if this is the one I got on Xbox when I played it, you can jump back and forth between the old graphics and the new graphics, which the new graphics also include some pretty solid voice acting, I'd say. For $2.50, Secret of Monkey Island, this is classic. You can't go wrong with this game, and it's not like it's aged badly. It's still a great game. And look at this, you can jump back and forth between the graphics on a whim, like Halo Anniversary. It's a great game. What else we got here? To the Moon. Ooh, boy. To the Moon for $2. This one's getting a sequel coming out. It's got sort of like an intermediary sequel called A Bird Story. I want to say it's free. I don't know. But I think it's having a sequel come out. It's sort of like this old Super Nintendo RPGs in terms of its graphical style. I think it's like an RPG Maker game or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's about these two people who use a machine to make somebody's dreams come true before they die, to sort of go back and change their memories. In this case, they go through this old dude's memories, and this guy had the dream of getting on a spaceship and going to the moon. So they go into his memories and they change things to make that happen. But as they go along in these memories, you start to see why he never got to the moon in his lifetime. And it is a heart-wrenching story. Not a whole lot of action. I'd say it's almost like a point and click game, adventure game, but in that SNES Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy, old school Final Fantasy style, like Final Fantasy VI. You can see from the screenshots. It's a great game, very story heavy, and for $2, it is well worth your time. It only took me 4 hours to complete it. That's great. Like $2 for 4 hours with an amazing story. It's a great game. Oh, what else we got here? Trying 2. I don't think I ever played it. Mark of the Ninja. So earlier I said I like stealth games with Dishonored. Mark of the Ninja is basically like 2D side-scrolling Dishonored. It's very good. You are a ninja. You do ninja things. It's a stealth game. I love stealth games. This game is awesome. $3.75. Go buy it. It's good. Reciteer and Item Shop's Tale. Okay, so this one's a bit of a wild card. Some of you may be looking at me like, what? You played this anime? Bleep, bloop. Well, this game is about, so picture, all the old school RPGs. You are an adventurer, you go into an item shop, you buy the super powerful sword, and you go back into the dungeon to fight monsters, right? Well, in this game, you are the item shop owner, and you have to manage your inventory of your shop. You have to set prices. Adventurers will come in and look for stuff. Maybe you have to pay attention to the economy of the town so that maybe like today iron is really cheap, so you stock up on a bunch of iron swords and iron shields, and then you save them, and then later on the price of iron goes back up, so you bought them on the cheap, and now you can sell them at the regular price and make a profit. And you've got this like loan shark fairy who comes in every month and says, hey, you owe me money. There's also a little bit where you can play as the adventurers, and you can go into the dungeon and get, stuff that you can't find in the town to supply your shop with. That part of the gameplay is a little weak. And to tell you the truth, I never actually beat the game. I just sort of got bored with it, but it's different. If you're really into like economics and managing stuff like that, and you don't care that it's in this anime style, maybe you really like the anime style, it's a decent game. It's okay. I don't hate it. Gunpoint for $2.50. Oh, Reciteer, the item shop game, was $5. Gunpoint is it's a fun little game. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's a puzzle game. You're this dude, like in a trench coat, and you infiltrate these buildings. So it's sort of like a stealth game, like Mark of the Ninja. So obviously I enjoyed it, but it's more puzzles than it is stealth. It also has some great dialogue and story. It's very funny. It's got its own sense of style. It's got its own sense of humor, and it's a very great dialogue in that game. Developer commentary. I'd suggest it. $2.50 for the main game. You can pay $5 to get the soundtrack. I don't remember if it's any good or not. And also developer commentary for every mission. That could be fun if you're into that sort of thing. I think I was. I don't remember. What is this exclusive edition? The making of Gunpoint video feature, exclusive tracks by the composers, a prototype 9 playable versus. Okay, if you're really into the game, you can shell out $7.50 for some insight into how the game was made. That could be cool. I don't know. I haven't played it. That particular part. Pony Island. I actually just got this game. It's a $1.64. I'm probably gonna play it on my channel soon once I finish up on Spec Ops, and maybe one day I'll finish Halo Wars 2. But eventually I'm gonna get to Pony Island. I have tried to stay away from any knowledge of this game. I think it was Jimquisition that said it was crazy and good. So ever since I heard that, I'm just like, okay, I won't learn anything about it. Ooh, Resident Evil 5 is $5. Now, this one was made in 2009, but, back in 2009, this was the coolest thing ever. I mean, it wasn't as good as Resident Evil 4, but it was still, it was alright. It was solid. If you have a co-op partner, it's got some good graphics. I don't know, is this game couch co-op? I don't know if it's couch co-op. I don't know if it has online co-op. I have not played it on PC. On console, it was pretty solid. On the other hand, it's 2009, so it might have some trouble running. Also, apparently, I own it. I think I got it in like a Humble Bundle. Let's see here. Mass Effect 2. Okay, so Mass Effect 3 is not on Steam. I think you're gonna have to go to Origin to get that. Mass Effect 2 is, of course, very good. That just goes without saying. Is this the original Binding of Isaac? Yeah, so I played the original Binding of Isaac. It's like, I think it sort of jump-started the roguelike comeback in recent years. It's not on sale. It's only $5, and it's the original one. It's not the remake that has better graphics and stuff. So, I don't know. I don't remember what the remake is called. I haven't played it. I haven't played this game in years either, but if you like roguelikes and you like Zelda, you'll like Binding of Isaac. Saints Row 4. Well, no, that's a DLC for it. I don't know if Saints Row 4 is less than $5, but it's not as good as the third game. However, you do get superpowers, which is cool, but it sort of makes driving cars useless. Indie Game the Movie. Okay, this is not a video game. This is a movie. It's a documentary. It's about, it's sort of a documentary about the revival of indie games, starting with Braid, but focusing on Super Meat Boy and Fez. Now I have no opinion of Phil Fish. Some of you may. I don't really care. I enjoyed Fez, even though I played it on console and I never got to actually beat it because of a glitch, and the glitch could not be patched by Phil Fish because I think it would cost him like 40 grand to patch it. Anyway, this is a movie. I would recommend getting the special edition because it's got a little bit of extra content. It's only $1 more, $3.50 for a movie. It's a good movie. It's a documentary, but it's got some some drama in it. Like Phil Fish and the creators of Super Meat Boy, they go through some really hard times. I'm sorry, the creators of Super Meat Boy, I can't remember their names right now. They're cool guys, though. They go through some really hard times, and it's got a little bit of the creator of Braid. He talks for a little bit, but he's not really the main focus of the story. It's all about Phil Fish, who did Fez, and two guys who did Super Meat Boy, and later on, Binding of Isaac. Um, it gets pretty heavy at times, and yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a great movie, but it is a movie. It is not a game, and you should definitely go check it out. We got the old Fallout games here. Couldn't really get into those. Mass Effect 1, again, the third game is not on Steam, to my knowledge, so take that with what you will. I mean, if you're not going to play all three Mass Effects, there's almost no point in playing any of them. I don't know what Before the Echo is. I don't know why I have it. Derp, derp, derp. I think we're getting to the end of the list. There's Vice City, Doom 3. I actually would not recommend Doom 3. It's not like Doom 2016. Batman Arkham Origins, I would not recommend either. I played it because I was getting a craving for those old Batman games, and this just sort of left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know what it was. It's not a bad game. It just feels like more of the same. If you played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, then just go straight to Arkham Knight, which I heard may or may not be fixed on PC. I don't know. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. So, $4 for Deus Ex. This is the first one. The sequel came out recently. This is the director's cut, which means they fixed the boss fights. Now, for those of you who don't know, which, all two of you out there, when the game first came out, it was a great game. Everybody loved it. But universally, everybody hated the boss fights because the game was all about playing the way you wanted to play. If you wanted to be a stealthy diplomat and not have any experience with guns, well, when you got to the boss fights, there was nothing you could do because you could only shoot them with guns. And if you're not good with guns, well, you can't win the game. The director's cut fixes that, and they fix the boss fights. I haven't actually played it. I don't know how they fix it, but I hear they give you lots and lots of options. So now you can actually play the game you want to play. Haven't played the sequel either. I will eventually get down to that. It is mixed reception. It looks like it's about $15. That seems like a pretty good price. If it weren't for the fact that I had 10,000 other games to play right now, I'd probably go get it. Let's see here. Endless Dungeon. Or Dungeon of the Endless. I think I played this game for all of 5 seconds. It could be good. I don't remember. Fear 2. That's an old one. I think Fear 2 was my favorite of the 3 Fear games. It felt pretty good. The first game was very old, and the third game I just couldn't get into the third game. This one, if I remember, the one thing that stuck out to me about Fear 2 was the sound. The sound of the weapons. When you fire a gun, it sounds good. It sounds loud like it should be. Let's see here. Civilization 4. Everybody loves Civilization. Don't care about those. We're getting to the end of our list here. We've got Risk of Rain. I do recommend this game. It's $2.50. I believe the multiplayer is dead. Otherwise, I would have played it with my friends a while back when I was playing it. It's a roguelike, side-scrolling. I think the big thing about this game is the longer it takes you, or the longer amount of time you spend playing the game, the harder it gets. Like if you look in the corner there, it says, it's got a timer up there, and as the time progresses, the difficulty gets higher and higher until you either win or you die. So it's like Game of Thrones, but not really. $2.50. I'm pretty sure you cannot play with your friends online. Don't quote me on that. Definitely look it up. It's got local co-op. Maybe we can see some of the reviews down here that'll tell us whether or not the multiplayer is dead. I don't know. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. But I like these things. Beyond Good and Evil for $5. Again, we just saw a teaser trailer to the sequel of this game. Teaser trailer, of course, is completely pre-rendered. We don't know what the sequel is going to be like. I think there's gameplay trailers out by now. But the first game, played it on console. It was pretty good. It's your classic mid-2000s adventure, 3D action. It was good. It had some awesome characters. And I think that's getting to the end of it. Rogue Legacy. I think we'll end here with Rogue Legacy. This was a good game. Like Risk of Rain, it is a roguelike, or rogue light if you want to be that guy. It's fun. You basically, side-scrolling action, sort of a Metroidvania. It doesn't feel like a Metroidvania, but it is a Metroidvania, closer to Castlevania than Metroid. You go around and you explore this castle that changes every generation, and when you die, your child will take over and start again. And any of the money that you earned on your previous run through, your child can use to upgrade himself and become more powerful, or upgrade your castle, I think. Been a little while since I played it, but basically, each of your children, each of the successive times you play through it, you get to select which child goes through and does the next run, and they have varying abilities. For example, you can see this guy right here. The whole thing is in like that old-timey grayscale. Well, I think he's like colorblind. Some of your children can be colorblind. Some of your children can have gigantism or dwarfism or nearsighted or farsighted and stuff like that. They have these randomized different traits that can help them or hurt them. Let's see if can we see any on here? Yeah, here you go. Tunnel vision and gigantism. So it's a fun game, and put about 21 hours into it. It's a good game. I enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it. And that, I believe, is where we are going to stop. I gave you quite a few recommendations for games on sale right now that are under $5. Grim Fandango Remastered is in there. It's $3 right now. It is an old point and click like Monkey Island. It's got great sense of humor, great dialogue, but it's also an old point and click shooter. I'm sorry, I keep saying shooter. It's not a shooter. It's an old point and click game. Honestly, if you're gonna play this or Monkey Island, I would literally just have your phone next to you, ready to look up a guide for it. There's Super Meat Boy. Everybody loves Super Meat Boy. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are going to end it for today. I have been your host, Grumpy Gavin, and today I've been recommending games for you on the Steam Summer Sale that are under $5. Peace out, Girl Scout.